You're listening to Entrepreneur's Enigma, a podcast about the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey. Every week, your host Seth Goldstein interviews entrepreneurs from all walks of life about their entrepreneurial journeys. From store owners to Fortune 500 CEOs, we all have stories to tell. So sit back and join us for the next 20 or so minutes while we explore the entrepreneurial world.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneur's Enigma podcast. I am your host as always, Seth, with Podcast Mastery and Goldstein Media. Today I have a good buddy of mine, David Feinman, who is the co-founder and CEO of Viral Ideas, a Philadelphia, so he's local to me, based productized video editing agency on a mission to make creativity simple, impactful, and scalable. So I've known Dave for, I don't know, 10 years, a decade now, something like that. You know, it just kind of happens. And he's a great guy. I enjoy him thoroughly. So he's done stuff with eBay and Johnson & Johnson. His entrepreneurial journey started when he launched the Zombie Run, which is the first nationwide 5K obstacle race that gamified fitness by immersing runners in a post-apocalyptic chase. That is insane. The event's viral success taught him how to blend memorable experiences with smart marketing principles that he now scales for his clients every day. So welcome, Dave. How you doing, big guy?
Doing awesome, Seth. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Before the show, you were saying you're growing exponentially, which is awesome.
Yeah, we're growing like a weed right now, which is awesome.
That's awesome to hear, buddy. And so you guys mostly focus on editing and behind-the-scenes stuff. You send people out, like our buddy Joe, out to do the video shoots, right?
Yeah. So essentially, like our in our current model, right? Like our goal is to simplify the video production process, and people will send us footage. Like the need for, if we like zoom out, the need for video content is growing. Especially in this world right now where
even LinkedIn,
well, on LinkedIn, but especially in this world right now where AI can create content, people need that authentic content and that authentic connection with other human beings. So I think the need for content is only growing, and the need for video content is only going up. And for people that want to just consume more video, so we're noticing, especially with we mostly work with we only work with businesses, and they're pumping out more content than ever before.
And I like the fact that like you can say, you guys shoot the content, we'll make it look good.
Exactly. So we're that back end, right? Like we effectively take that raw footage and turn it into something good. We operate in that footage intake, footage out section.
I love that. Yeah, it's a niche. I like that. It's different than trying to do this whole soup to nuts thing. It makes you more valuable because you can get people out there that can do video. Like I have an idea of kind of what they want to shoot. You can work with them and say, hey, get these kind of shots. If you doing line painting, or are you doing the paving, or all that kind of stuff. I don't know why I'm thinking about those kind of industries, but still, like, or are you in a meeting, flailing your arms, talking, and all that stuff? We'll make that look so it makes sense. Don't worry about that stuff. We'll make it make sense. Just give us footage.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think for any company, niching down and focusing on something that's hard to do, because you think you're giving something up when you're doing it. Like when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, I used to think I had to be everything. I used to think I had to do complete solution. But at the end of the day, if you look at even some professions where high trust is involved, like the medical profession, as a perfect example, there's high trust in the medical profession because there is specialties. Sure, there's generalists that'll take a look at you, but they'll say, like, let's say you hurt your hand. They'll say, okay, you now have to go to this hand specialist that's going to focus on your hand.
Who only focuses on the hand, knows the hand inside and out, and can fix it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I think to be able to compete in today's market, it's important, at least at first, to niche down, and eventually you can start building something out that has more departments and more that can accomplish more. But in focusing on editing in our particular business, we effectively productize what we do. So you could shop for a video just like you're shopping on Amazon. which I think a lot of agencies, you have to reach out to them, they have to get a quote, you have to go through this whole process. But people just want a price to do something, and they want to know what they're going to get for it. And I think this whole productization,
it's refreshing almost.
Yeah, it feels good for a customer to not feel like someone's trying to suss out exactly how much they can pay for something, and whether or not you're going to charge them more because they can pay more. Like you really want to make sure, at least what I found in productization and in niching down, it creates high trust with a client.
It does. That's what I found especially with the podcast mastery side of things, is that niching down and helping people with their podcast, like finding a niche in Goldstein Media to niche down in, has been very helpful, and people are very much seeing the need for help with podcasts. They're seeing the need for because this is your interview, not my interview. Is they're seeing the need for editing. Like people can kind of figure it out, but it looks like they figured it out versus they did a good job. And you want to make sure that they do it, that they look like they're doing it. You want to put your best foot forward on these videos.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to, at the end of the day, as a business owner or as a marketer, whoever you're working with, do you want to be working on $50 an hour task, $10 an hour task, $5 an hour task, or do you want to be working on that $5,000 an hour task that's moving the needle forward, right? Being on the podcast and creating content, as if we're using that as an example, is a super scalable thing. You create one piece of content that could be seen by hundreds or thousands of people
and over again,
and it's a repeatable thing. Doing the actual editing, that is not something that's scalable. So I think entrepreneurship in general, if you zoom out again, like it is a journey of constantly replacing yourself in what you do, so you can move on to the next highest value thing that you can do, the highest leverage thing that you could possibly do.
Brilliant, man, brilliant. So have you always been an entrepreneur, or have you worked for the man or the person or the woman? You gotta make sure it's the person. Yeah. Have you worked for the
I've never so I started my first business when I was 16 years old.
You're one of those people.
I did have some jobs, I worked at a summer camp as a lifeguard. I worked, that was like my main thing. I worked, but I've always been entrepreneurial. So my first business was, I started a half marathon with a friend in high school. And then, have built
awesome.
businesses from there. Like we had teen dances that we would do. That was another business that I had.
Whoa, teen dances. Let's go into that a little bit. So you organize dances for teens that don't want to dance.
Yeah, I did this when I was in high school. So we helped organize dances for kids in high school. We had 1,000 kids show up at these dances.
Oh my God! Did you have security and stuff? Because 1,000 teeny boppers. My God!
We hired cops to be security. Because
oh my God! Can you imagine? You can. You did it, but I can't imagine 1,000 teeny boppers bopping away. Let's keep saying that term. Oh my God! It must have been really smelly too. All that Axe deodorant.
Sure, there was definitely. It was an interesting smell, but I mean, I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always.
Do you come from a long line of entrepreneurs? Are your parents entrepreneurs?
No. My parents. My dad's a doctor. My mom's a school psychologist. So I
brainiacs, but not.
Yeah, very very not entrepreneurs. So I kind of got the bug, and I thought I was gonna stop it. After college, I was I was actually interviewing at Google to go work there, in college.
Get lost in the ecosystem, yeah.
And I thought to myself, I was like, I'm gonna do this. This sounds like a great company to work for, And I got to the end. I got to the second interview, and I was like, this seems miserable. And I'd already been working on this. I'd been working on this company that I own now, Viral Ideas. I've been working on that while I was interviewing, and I just thought it was like a side project. I didn't really think of it as it is at that point.
Side hustle.
But I got to the point in this interview process, and I was like, I can't do this. I want to build my own thing.
And being lost to being a cog in the wheel. I mean, there's nothing against it.
There's nothing.
I've tried it, and it's not that fun.
Sure, and I think for a lot of people, being an employee in an organization is the right move.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but if you want to do it, it's an awesome, fun, amazing ride. That's really just, in my opinion, a journey of self-improvement, because I've just kind of learned through this that you only grow to the ceiling of yourself. For me, I'm only as good as I am. And, over the years, I've actually resisted coaching, but eventually came to my senses, and I'm like, I need to hire coaches to help me get past myself.
Get to the next level.
Get to the next level.
Because they've been there.
I think the coaching money that I've spent recently has been the best investment I've ever made in spending money on coaching.
Yeah, awesome. So what is the best thing about, since you've been an entrepreneur your whole life, pretty much, what's the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind?
I think the best thing is everything is your problem.
Everything's your problem. I love it.
No, I say that because a lot of people hear that and they're like, "Oh, that sounds horrible. Everything is your problem." That sounds horrible. Yeah. But in my opinion, I think it's the best thing ever, because you have complete control over your own destiny. If everything down to, if you made, let's say something happens further down in your organization, right, on the front lines, and something goes wrong, you made the hire.
Buck stops with you.
You set up the system. You're the one that enabled that to happen. It's the standards that you set to make that happen. So for me, I'm like, okay, in order to improve this situation, that becomes my thing that I can work on to improve. It becomes a series of things that I can do to continually improve an organization. So for me, in what I like to do, I look at that everything is your problem as the greatest gift I could possibly have.
Everything is your problem with David Feinman. A new podcast coming out this fall. I like that. Hey, there's a little thing for you in your next project. No, exactly. So then what's what keeps you up at night being an entrepreneur? I guess that the fact that everything's your problem.
I think it depends on the week, right? Like there's some weeks I sleep great, and I don't have any issues. But I think the things that keep me up are probably the standard things that keep most entrepreneurs up at night. Right? Like everyone has the same, you talk to any entrepreneur and you get real with them. Everyone has the same problems. Everyone will say, oh, everything's great. But, everyone has accounts receivable. Every single entrepreneur I talk to has accounts receivable. Their customers owe their money, and they're 4 days away from payroll, and they're thinking to themselves, man, I got to really work down my accounts receivable. So everyone has people problems. Everyone
people. Yeah.
And
people is a big problem. Yeah.
Everyone says, so I think the standard, it's all standard stuff though, but I think the further along I've got my entrepreneurial journey, the more I've chosen to just not necessarily fret about those things and sit there and worry, because worrying is like a secondary emotion.
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything. It creates negative energy. It's more of all those things that I'm talking about are opportunities.
We're gonna take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
For growth. So I've learned to just kind of, all the things that are keeping me up at night, and there's nights where I'm like kind of ruminating on stuff. I'm just like, okay, this is a list of opportunities. Write them down, take them to my next meeting, put them on a piece of paper, and deal with them and block and tackle. Because it's, at the end of the day, none of it really matters, right? Like, at the end of the day, every day
above ground is a good day.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, like, all these problems are just stuff to push through. That if I can push through them, it creates more opportunity for myself.
That's awesome. And so, like when you started Viral Ideas, did you think you were going to have 40 people in your company, or was the idea was it going to be to keep it small? You and your co-founder, and just kind of the two of you do it. What's the impetus to make it grow?
So I think at the start we were just vibing, we were just kind of, now they use the term vibe coding. We were like vibe building a business.
Actually vibing, like actual vibing.
We were just kind of like, we'll do a little work here, we'll do a little work there. But as the years have gone on, it started to take more of a shape and a structure, and it has goals and it has things that we're pushing towards every single day, and we have KPIs that we want to hit. And there's a real structure in our business now that helps drive and move the needle forward. So, looking back, did I think it would be here? I don't really think I was was a kid. I was
You were
20 I
going.
was
You were going with the
20
flow.
I was 21 years old, right? I was going with the flow. I was like, if anything, this will give me my version of an MBA. I was like, that's, so I wasn't really thinking like, I want to make this. I was just thinking I want to make, right? Like,
You want to have
so
fun
that's how I
doing
started.
it.
I was
and
very
then
young when I started the business, but now it's like, this is where I want to get to. This is what I want to do, and
And then you get there, and you set the next goal, and you get to that.
Exactly.
And you get to the next goal. It's
I
impressive.
actually 3 times a day I have an automated Slack notification that has my 12-month goals that hit me every single.
Oh, that's clever.
3 times a day. So it says, hey, these are your goals. Reread them, and these are the principles that are going to help get you there. And I look at that. I look at that 3 times a day, just for a minute. So I know, and I'm staying focused. Every morning I wake up with it, middle of the day, end of the day. So I know if I've had a day that's being driven and focused towards my goals, or if I veered off track. Because there's sometimes during the day, like there's distractions, right? There's
always distractions.
There's and the more successful I've gotten with it, the more distractions that come up. So as those distractions build and as those things build, it's easy to get the shiny object syndrome. So looking at my goals,
my God, that's a real thing. Yeah.
So looking at my goals 3 times a day, and then I get an email from someone, hey, can I do this with you? Nope. Then my goals are written out. I'm focusing on these right now.
I love that.
And maybe
that's
there's space for that in the future, but right now I'm very much focused on
love that. So what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time? Is it as woo-woo as you want to get, or as physical as you want to get?
I think for me, it's a quote I live by, which is be happy, spread happiness.
Ooh, I like that.
So it's just staying in that state of, unshakability, right? Like of that strength where your feet are where they are, and you're just kind of moving throughout your day in that flow state. So that's always what I strive for.
I love that. That is awesome. That's a great place to end, actually. So, Dave, best place for people to find you online, is viralideasmarketing.com, right?
That's our website, viralideasmarketing.com. If also,
where do you hang out online? Like, where can people find out more about Dave and his?
So if you want to follow me actually on Instagram, and you send me a quick DM that says guide, I can send you a guide to hiring a video editor. So we actually put together all this 10 years of knowledge of hiring video editors. And we baked it into this one document that's 20 pages long. It's gold. It's like literally, if you look at this document, you will hire like the best possible video editor afterwards. So if you're interested in hiring a video editor, we can give you this guide.
Instagram, and we'll have the link to your Instagram in the show notes. And DM Dave and say, guide, please. I mean, be polite about it. Don't just say, give me the guide, damn it. Be nice.
I mean, if you want to do that, like, I'll hook you up with the guide.
It'll still hook you up with the guide, but be nice.
It's my free gift. It's my free gift to your audience. So
I love it, man. And this has been so much fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Seth. It's great talking to you.
And we'll see everyone next week.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneur's Enigma, please consider giving us a review in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps us reach new listeners. If you like Entrepreneur's Enigma, consider the other shows on the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcast.net.